Well, hello everybody, it's Ginger here and welcome back to another one of the mini landscapes, and we are officially on landscape 8, which is the penultimate landscape for us, and we have another one that is taking a close-up look of the lake, which is halfway up the mountain. And you'll have seen I've already done one in this, but this is closer up than that one was. So I want to try and keep this one light, and I mean really light. So I'm only going to put a tiny amount of colour down and then add water. I do love how far just even the tiniest bit of pastel goes. Why have I got a little stringy bit in the brush? Who knows? Right, let's pick up the rest of that. So you can see how light that has gone. It's still getting a grey tint from the charcoal, but that's kind of what we want. We want a brown. That there. Yeah, you see how far this brown goes. It goes quite far really, even though I don't want it to. Now, when you add water to pastel, it can actually stain the paper, which is great because it means that if you think you've put too much down, you can then add more water and take it away, and you'll be left with the paper stained that colour behind, which is really good for being able to add and reduce reduce darkness and add lightness to certain areas. Remember, we're just keeping this loose. It's decided it wants to raise up, that's fine. I'm going to add some spots, which probably won't help because of course it's bowed out. Let's unbow this for a second. A bit better. Yeah, that's a bit better, right. More of a kind of romantic thing really when you do this. And I'm picking up some of the brown and then speckling it so that it goes into the water. Sorry, I hit the camera. So we've got all these brown speckles appearing across the water. There we go. Right, that needs to dry and then we will come back to it. Right, that's it dried. So now we're going to go over the top and just add some more colour. I wonder if I've got, yeah, one of my lighter blues. And just reinforce that lake edge there. And then come down. It's darker at this end, so I want it darker at that end. And yeah, I know that I've obviously painted the hut in the other one, but I don't want to do that in this one. I just want to ignore that hut for the time being. Right, that's some gorgeous blue. I won't splatter that just yet. I want some of this red brown. Add some of this on top. Now we know it was darker along the path, so that's what we're going to do. Just do it darker along there, and darker on there. We'll use the paintbrush to get that bit better. And darker there, and darker in that corner there. So we're going to wet that and pick that up. Getting a little closer to the path with the brush. Gonna cut along the lake so we keep the lake shape. And then along there. This bit's significantly darker, as is this bit here. Bit more water. And again, along that edge that we've put there, along the path, and we're wanting to spread that one up so it's darker at the bottom, then spread out across the block. And then here, this is just some of the red coming up the side of the mountain there. Like that. Right, again, use your speculine. I'm gonna pick up some of that. See, the reason I pick it up on the brush is because it then adds that colour, but very faintly in other places, which is what you want. Right. Again, leave that to dry, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, that is now done. So now I want to bring in some, is this one of my dark blue greens? It is a dark blue green. I'm not sure I really want a dark blue green. I have some of my very thin heart pastels in here, which are perfect. So we're just gonna reinforce certain lines and areas. You can see the paper's still slightly damp, and therefore the pastel's kind of catching. So I'm just kind of scribbling in areas that I want that are interesting. And I want this more red to go. Like that. Or the bracken down here along the shore. Enhancing that shoreline, coming along here, a little bit there. And the same here. Oh, I like that. Well, this is kind of like an olive green one. So these are these Derwent ones? No, these are my Contes. I thought so. I think the Derwent ones are slightly bigger. Yeah, Derwent ones are slightly bigger. This is the Contes. I like this one. It's a really nice kind of yellow green. I'm not going to do too much because most of this actually is grey. So it's just about adding some sections in where you know, like I know that's there, for example, and I know that that's there in that corner, and that comes around there. I've got lines there. Like that. I want the yellow, and I'll put in our paths with this. It's going to look very yellow for the minute, but don't worry, we will amend. That's various trails and stuff going up there. This comes here. It kind of spreads into a Y. There's a little bit of it further round, but not much. There's a kind of hidden path coming through there. Well, there's paths everywhere, but it's kind of what gives it such a really lovely shape and colour. Okay, I'm going to go back in and reinforce some of these dark sections. Especially around there. And along that path there. These are kind of bushes that kind of stick out down here along the shore. Don't want bits everywhere. Right, also wandering off camera, sorry. I'm going to add just these lines in there, which will help give us some of that shape for the body of water, like that. I'm going to add some of that grey in, but only right up the top here, and some little bits along the valley path here. Like that. Question is, do I want to do any more than that? Not necessarily, but what I might do is spray it, or at least letting kind of droplets of water kind of fall. Oh, sorry, keep hitting the camera. It's really hard to do when you're directly above. Oh. Yeah, quite like that. The lake really offsets the kind of reds and oranges that are going on there. How much water have we got on here? Quite a bit. That's kind of what I was expecting. Right, let's let that dry, and then we'll see if we need to do anything else with it. Right, that's it, mostly dry. It's a little, because it's watercolour paper, it will hold a little bit of water, so it's dry on the surface, but it will feel damp. And you can see where the colours have bled, and I just want to bring in some of this white down here at the bottom of the lake. That's quite important. Maybe some of this. Just do little squiggly patterns in here just to give this a bit of texture. Oh, that's a bit better. Right. Yeah, I think I'll leave that one there. It was the last one of the lake little sketch drawings, so I don't want to mess with it too much because there isn't a lot to it. It's just very flat in the picture, and of course I'm adding contrast, but if you push too far it just becomes a bit of a mess. So you can see the path going up the side of the mountain, and you can see the body of water, and when it dries it'll be a lot slightly lighter than that. So we'll leave that there, and we've got one more mini landscape to go.